This conference will now be recorded.
Oh, now the recording's on. Okay. All right.
Let's just make sure caller number 5, is that you, Frank?
No, I think it's Teresa vote. I don't know if Frank's on the line.
Okay, thanks.
I can't get into it via the website, so whatever reason.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and start. We have a quorum, so I'll call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Rules Committee of the Representative Town Meeting of Darien. And the first item is approval of the May 18 minutes. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
Teresa.
I have Pat as a motion. A second, please.
Second.
Lois Sagat as a second. Any changes, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as written, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Am I better with hands? Maybe I'm better. I don't know. Maybe I'm better with hands, I guess. But opposed? I see no hands opposing. It's unanimous.
Who was that second?
Lois.
Oh, then who moved it?
Patty.
Thank you.
Patty. Okay. Mark, we good?
Sorry, you can't see me. We're good. I'm giving you a thumbs up.
No. No. Okay. For tonight's business, Adele kind of wanted to add an item to the agenda. And so Adele, do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we discuss the process that we used at the last virtual RTM meeting. I'd like to, for everyone to discuss it and just make sure that it worked as well as we thought it did. And if there are things we can do to make it work better, just like to analyze it. Thank you. So I make a motion that we do that this evening.
Do I have a second?
Second, that's Teresa.
Teresa, okay. Discussion? All those in favor, please. I guess we use hands. I don't know. What's easiest, Mark? I guess all hands, okay?
Well, I can't see all hands, so we really need to hear the yeses and the nos.
Okay.
I can only see 6.
Why don't you go ahead and call them out, Mark?
Sure.
Why don't you just try for no's, and if no one
Yes,
has
I'll
it,
start with the nos.
I'll try now.
Yeah.
Jack? Okay.
Any nos?
No, any no's? I see none and hear none. Motion passes.
Thank you.
I invited, we have Michael here who knows something about GoToMeeting, and Cecil Wade's with us tonight, not a member of the Rules Committee, but to help with technical questions, answers, or whatever. With him in mind, I was going to ask you if it would be okay to move this item to the top of the agenda tonight for discussion, and so that when we get done or resolve whatever we're going to resolve, that we would then release Cecil. He wouldn't have to stick around for the whole meeting. Without objection, I would do that. Are there any objections? I hear none, see none, so we'll take that up first. Adele, do you want to lead off?
Let me start. I have to say that I was really not well versed. I thought I understood the webinar, not the GoToMeeting, but the webinar that we used for the RTM meeting. And I really obviously realized about halfway through that meeting that I really didn't know how to raise my hand. I was waving it around, but that wasn't what you were asking for. And I find it hard to believe that I was the only person that was in that position. So I think we need to find a way, if we're going to use that same system, to make sure that everyone really knows how to vote, how to electronically raise their hand. And I had said to Seth when we were talking that maybe it's as simple as when the roll call is called, that you ask people to electronically raise their hand to let you know that that is them. I don't really have the answer, but that's one thing. That was at the top of my list. It really took me, anyway, never mind. So it affected I think it affected the way things went. My second question is, which would be to Cecil. Cecil, could you tell when people dropped off the call? Because
Well,
it didn't look like there was any. It didn't look like there were any absence in the votes towards the end of the meeting, which made me wonder, if you really could tell.
It's very difficult to know who dropped off because there are so many people on. You can see the count changing, but it's, when you're talking about 70 to 100 people or more, knowing who it was who dropped off is pretty much impossible because all the names can't be on the screen at the same time.
See, that was what my guess is, and that really does worry me because people that would have, they maybe didn't vote yes, maybe, but they, we don't know if they were there or not. I mean, it doesn't, we really should have a tally count for each thing that we vote for. We should know how many people are voting.
Can I ask a quick question? Can I ask a quick question? It's
Yes,
Teresa
yes.
here. Cecil,
Yes.
if I remember correctly, so now I'm more well versed in these big Board of Ed meetings that are happening. If I remember correctly from that last RTM meeting, when you raise your hand, whoever is on the other end has to unmute the person raising their hand. Am I correct?
Yes. That's
okay,
correct.
so here is what bothered me about that meeting. When I was speaking, somebody chose to unmute somebody to disrupt what I was saying. And that means somebody on the other end made the call to unmute that person while I was talking. And I don't think that's fair. And
I remember the incident. I don't know how that happened. There were multiple of us trying to manage that meeting, and I will also tell you, it's really complicated and easy to get wrong. I agree with you. That was unconscionable.
yes, and I'm the only person it seemed to happen to. So, so somebody clearly didn't like what I was saying, and therefore unmuted the other person.
Teresa,
I sincerely hope that that's not true, Teresa. I hope
hi,
that.
Teresa. Yeah, Cecil, it's Shannon. I think you can unmute yourself. I think you can do that. Up in the upper right-hand corner, I think you can.
I think what I'd like to do is maybe get together with Seth and a couple of other people and run a trial before the next RTM meeting so that we can dope these things out.
Good idea.
I'm very, very conscious of the issue that you had, though, Teresa.
Yeah. I'm just worried about there being an accurate count, to be honest, and the people know what they're doing,
Well, you never know that everybody knows what they're doing. I will also look to see whether we can actually find a way to do maybe a survey or some such thing like that, so we can actually get the names associated with the votes. We'll do a little background checking on that.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe if I might say something here.
Right, Jack.
With all due respect, and I agree with what Adele just mentioned, to make sure that we all know how to raise our hand and that everybody's voices is heard and that we're dealing with things in a polite manner. That being said, the votes were not close enough to have made a difference in any of those votes that seem to have some angst by some people. I got the vote count asking who was no and people coming back and saying they're no, with the exception of one modification to the capital for Park and Rec. The votes were 80 to 10, 80 to 9. Whether or not 5 people dropped off or not, and in fact, what I now refer to as Fox News Darien Times gave such an unfair report of what transpired in the meeting, including inaccurate statements by several of our members,
Yes.
such as that has never been, that no adjustments have ever been done to the budget, when in fact it was done by Steve Anderson about 6 years ago when Jim Palin was chair of F&B.
Hey, Jack, if you're going to go,
and I'm just going to leave it there.
You better.
Leave it there.
No, Jack, I agree with you. I don't think anything would have been different, the numbers, but accuracy is important, and perhaps the next time
I agree.
It could be, so that it's important to do what we can.
Everything else you've said there, Adele, I fully agree that we need to almost have a tutorial on how to do things. That being said, I do believe that Kate and everybody else did a really good job in the meeting, even though things can improve.
I agree.
And I hope we don't have meetings like that again.
Complex, you clearly can improve it.
I certainly do too, Jack.
Yeah.
This is Patty Baumgartner.
Yeah, just one second, Patty, and then you, Mike.
Okay, I'd just like to follow up on Cecil's suggestion. I highly recommend, if you can, that we send out a survey to everyone and just say, tell us, did you have a hard time getting on? How's it been for you, et cetera. I know several people that were older that weren't able to get on. I'd be happy to go to their house and make sure that they can get on for our next meeting, that kind of thing. So if we know that there's a handful of people having a specific problem that's easy to fix, then we as a group can help to fix that. And if it's a bigger issue, then maybe we figure that out. But I'm amazed at how many people were online. I thought it was pretty impressive.
Cecil, just one more thing, it's Adele.
Listen,
I just want to say that I thought that Kate did a follow-up after the meeting, and so it would make sense to get what information that she got from people, because she did ask for people to contact her with any thoughts that they had. So I'm sure she must have gotten some feedback back. She certainly got mine. Okay, that's it.
Also, in addition to that, on a close vote, I can call for a roll call. So I didn't seem necessary in that meeting, but it could be going forward. And if I sense that this thing is, 10 votes apart or something, why we can back up and do it by roll call.
I might suggest we also check.
Fix. We will work for the technological fix here to see if there's a way that we can make it a little easier to handle.
Great.
If I might also make a suggestion to the group, in speaking to 2 friends of mine who are on the Greenwich RTM rather, they actually send their votes in to the district chair, and the chair does the report. So either by text or email, the district chair is recording the votes, and then they send in the vote count, and that becomes the record. So it's just a thought. I'm not sure exactly how they do it. But it might be worthwhile to just speak to the chair of the Greenwich RTM, but that's my understanding.
Okay.
And that would improve the accuracy, which I agree with Adele on.
Zoom does have a polling that is not anonymous and keeps a record of who voted. So they do have a mechanism for polling. You can make
I think GoToWebinar has it too.
And you get a written, you get a printout of who voted which way if you choose not to use the anonymous element.
Yeah, the district chair would have to turn in a vote sheet in that instance.
right away. That could be challenging right away.
Yeah, no, it's,
We could do
Could
it by
they do it
email.
via Google
You
Docs?
do it text,
Google,
you know?
Yeah.
or do it via
Yeah.
Google form.
all right, well, I promise to follow up on that.
Okay, thank you.
So I will talk to you and we'll figure out some testing on this.
Okay,
Thanks,
terrific.
Cecil. Cecil's the best, by the way.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for coming
Talk to my wife about that, will you?
the meeting. Is there anything else for this?
Just a quick joke. Cecil, is that the pandemic that everybody's at home too much? Because I know that I can't wait for somebody to go back to the office.
Well, I have no comment to make on that.
Thank you very much this evening, Cecil. We'll move on.
My pleasure. Now, let me just ask a question. I'm not sure I can go because, Mike, are you recording this?
I am recording.
Okay, so I'm recording too, but so if I leave, I'm going to stop the recording and you'll hear it say the recording is stopped. And you just pay attention to make sure yours is not stopped too, please.
Okay, I will.
Thanks very much.
I mean,
Good night,
Cecil,
all. It's
you're
a pleasure
welcome
to talk to
stay.
you.
Good night.
It's our august body.
This conference will now be recorded.
So
Okay.
Cecil, save your portion.
I certainly will.
And we'll combine the two.
Okay, be well all.
Thank you.
You do.
Hey, Mike, Frank is trying to call in, so hopefully it works.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for him trying to join.
That's great. That's great. Okay, well, now we'll do the pending items and assign the committees. The Oxridge draining easement. That's actually a state thing wanting an easement from us. Don't have much in the way of comments on that. Anybody other than, I guess, what is it? Is it PZ&H?
I think I would put Public Works because it's a drainage easement. Education because it's on the school property.
Jack, can I hold you for 1 minute to make sure this is Frank? Is this you joining us?
Yes, thank you. I had some technical problems, but I'm glad to be among you.
All right.
We're glad to have you. And possibly PZ and H. I don't think there's any financial impact, and I actually believe the drainage easement already exists.
It does.
Okay.
So I would consider those three. Who's the lead is anybody's guess.
Primary on Public Works?
Probably.
You know, I spoke to Ed about this. I spoke to Ed about this at Gentile, and it's really a right to drain. Happy for Public Works to do it, but I'm wondering if this is maybe planning and zoning.
Zoning, yeah.
Okay. Let them find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's where I started, but yeah. Okay. Put a note there. So we got a motion to assign PZ&H as primary with Public Works and Ed secondary. Can I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second?
Patty, second.
All in favor? Unless there's other comments. Are there other comment at all? Yes, Jack.
No, I was just raising my hand to say yes. Good.
He's in favor.
Okay, good. All in favor, please.
Aye.
Raise your hands there. Oh,
Aye.
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 I'm gonna have to do it on first. Okay, good. Everybody's answering for, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 people where I can't see their faces and their hands. Opposed, I'll listen for opposed. It's unanimous. Okay. The leased parking space to the MTA. Thank you, Jack, for that analysis. And I guess I've got F&B and Public Works. F&B for lease and Public Works because it's on the Norotan Heights train station. I just.
And
that would be, yeah.
PZ&H because the P&Z Commission will be issuing a report either today or on the 15th. So somebody has to get up and say they issued the report and said it was good.
Okay. So we want a primary F&B?
Yeah.
It's a lease, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so it's primary F&B, Public Works P&Z, Public Works and PZ&H secondary. Can I have a motion, please?
Patty?
Patty's in. There's the hand. I'm listening. Okay, a second, please. Oh, we'll let Lois get in on the act. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Sounds unanimous to me. Any noes? Okay, it's unanimous. Acceptance of the Small Town Economic and Assistance Program grant. I have, because it's money, F&B, I put Park and Rec because it looks like it's going to relate to Highland Farms, huh?
You got me.
Got me also.
I don't know anything about it, to be quite honest, what it's for.
I think it's a very small amount.
Yeah.
With it being capped.
Stuff, but it's.
Yeah. I talked to Kate about something else last week, and we were talking numbers on a project we were working on, and she said, well, we may have some steep money coming. And it was with regards to a project that was tied to Parks and Rec. So that's maybe my only input, that might indeed be Parks and Rec related.
Well, Jen Chernesky issued a memo, which I sent out, which has it spread out over a whole bunch of people. So, trying to figure this out. It's pretty easy to figure F&B, but after that, it's not exactly this. Yes.
I think that until we know where the money's going to go, maybe we're jumping the gun on where maybe F&B, just F&B.
Yeah.
I
agree with that, Pat.
I agree, Monica.
I agree.
Thanks, Pat.
Well, they're showing some of it is for schools, right? Some of health department preparedness. Some is FEMA. Oh, let's see.
Well, it matters what the grant is. Her sheet had multiple grants there.
Yeah. I thought it was had to be
the steep
capital.
grant is, steep grant is a very small grant, if I'm not mistaken.
It's up to 100,000.
128,000.
Right.
No, it's not as small as I thought.
Yeah. And the town
is that the COVID or
no,
the
no,
steep?
No.
No.
I thought it's capital.
According to Kate, she said that this authorizing resolution needs to be submitted to administrative agency. There, are we seeking the top? She's seeking. They don't know the pieces, but she's saying they want an authorized resolution for $128,205, which is the maximum grant award. So they've got a big enough amount to be approved, okay? So they have the maximum that could be approved, and it may be less, as far as I can understand from Kate's memo.
Right. We can receive 128,000, but we do not need to commit 128,000. There's no minimum on what we commit as long as we commit. There's no minimum on the percentage of the project, and somebody said it is a capital project.
Yeah. Well, it's as she said we're seeking the authorizing resolution in advance for an amount not to exceed 128,000, which is the maximum grant award. So
we're basically doing an authorization for an appropriation prior to them finding out what the grant is.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So then let's just do it F&B and be done with it.
Agreed. I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
so it's F and B. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Monica's very good. A second, please. Okay, Pat. Good. All in favor, please, hands, voices.
Aye.
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 That's good. Opposed? I don't hear any opposed and I don't see any opposed. It's unanimous. Okay, COVID-19 expense reimbursement from the state of Connecticut. I just had F and B on that one. I suppose maybe, I don't know, health and safety could be.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want them first?
I think education might also be in on that.
I think it
Are there
is.
school expenses there?
Yeah, let me look.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So FMV, education, and public health and safety?
sounds good.
Yes.
And I would be fine if we put public health and safety as the lead on this.
All right. Okay, so we got public health and safety, primary, F and B and ed, secondary. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
It looks like.
Thank you, Frank. Very good. You beat out Patty.
Not to raise my hand anymore.
Second, please.
Seth, I think Joe seconded.
Joe.
Okay.
Yes, second.
Okay, Joe, second. Thank you. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, okay.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed, again, I'll say because I heard a late aye. I don't see any or hear any. It's unanimous.
Hey, Seth, if we can take a breath here a moment.
Yes, sir.
What was
All
the second, what was the second committee on that? I got public health and safety primary. Who was second?
FMB and education.
Thank you.
Do we need, on appointment of Kevin Tresh, do we need a committee on that? We can just put that on the agenda, but I don't know. Do we need a report? I don't see.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It would be nice if
DGS
somebody could explain what the Western Tourist District is, since I thought at one time the state stopped funding the regional tourist districts.
Oh,
Recently, actually.
all right.
And can we make sure that the person?
Unless you want to do it, Seth.
Well, I can get up and do this one.
Yeah.
I'll get an answer to the question, Jack.
Yeah, talk to selectmen.
Yep.
And Seth,
Okay.
can we make sure that the person's going to be there in case somebody has
Oh, yeah.
anything,
I'll
please?
give him a call.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. So can I have a
Which
motion?
sets the agenda with that being number one on the agenda.
Yes.
If we want somebody there, let's get them out,
Yeah.
even though it's virtual.
Yep. Okay. So, can I have a motion to have me do the Western Tourism District with Mr. Trish? Is it Trish, I guess?
Fresh.
Trish, okay. A second, please?
Second.
Second.
Okay. All in
Hang
favor?
on. Who was that first? Who was that second? I don't recognize the voices.
Adele?
Adele, thank
And I think Ann.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
You had 2 seconds.
I need a spelling of Mr. Tesh. Oh, there it is, right there. I got it.
He's
Never
on
mind, I
the
got it.
agenda,
I
but
got it.
Treesh.
Yep, I see it. I see it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Every time I look at his name, I keep on thinking about the Yankee shortstop
Tommy, right.
from years ago.
What number did he
With
wear?
one E.
What number did he wear?
Uh-oh. Wheeler's gonna
10
start.
if I'm not mistaken. Was it 10? 15, yeah. Which tells you why I'm looking at my computer screen, because Omeo's hit 2 home runs.
Okay, can I get, we ready to vote? All in favor, please, of appointing Kevin Tresh to the Western and handling the thing? Okay, great.
Aye.
Opposed? I don't
Aye.
see- oh, okay, we got
Aye.
aye.
That wasn't.
Opposed? Hearing none, seeing none, there are none, it's unanimous. All right, so moving on to set the agenda, we'll put Kevin Tresh first, and then just go Ox Ridge, lease parking space, acceptance is steep, and COVID-19. Can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
Yeah, I got Lois,
Hey,
anybody to the draw. A second, please.
Patty or Monica as seconds?
doesn't matter.
Okay. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Opposed? I hear none, see none. It's unanimous. Thank you all. I'll take.
Seth, before we go,
Yes, Frank.
Seth, got a short announcement. A little bit of it is a personal story. I've been doing monitoring election moderator for one of the districts for a while. I really enjoy it. It's a nice way to spend an election day. But I told registrar of voters that because of the virus, I prefer not to do it. And they said, fine, would you serve as an absentee ballot moderator? And I said, I haven't done that before. So for the primary, I did it. And they had masks and gloves and well spaced. It was probably the safest place in Fairfield County. They're doing the absentee ballots. It was fun. We handled about 1,700 ballots. They'll probably about 4 or 5 times that number on November 3rd. We have a staff of about 18 to 20 people working on it. And Karen needs, Registrar Angie needs 3 or 4 more people who are R's. The D's are okay, but in order to have balanced teams, so if anyone's listening out there, shoot me a line or an email in the next day or so, and I'll fill you in with some of the details about it. But I will say it's a nice way to spend election day, take your mind off of all the other things. So if you are an R, please call me. Thank you.
What about if you're a U?
Thank you, Frank.
Frank, what about if you're a U?
Anything else?
I'll have to see. You can contact me anyway if you are a U or an I.
All right. Anything else? Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Everybody stay safe.
You too.
Thank you all.
And seconded.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Night.
Have a great evening.
Good night. Stay safe.
Great to see you all.
Have a good night.